Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Great to see you all. We're just going to let people in for the next minute or so. So hang in there. Thank you all for coming again. You guys are all the reason why this has been such a success. It's really all because of you. So thank you again. I'll make announcements in just a moment. Since I think we have a few people here that are here for the first time, or if even those of you who've been around for a while, if any of you have any questions about the community before we get started, while we're waiting for people to join, you're welcome to ask any questions or comments. And I'm going to have to mute everybody first. You'll have to unmute when you want to speak.
Yeah, Mark are here.
Go ahead.
Luke.
Good.
Yeah.
Hi, Luke.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for moderating our next event. And I would like to say that I'm really excited to hear today's speeches. I'm a bit on foot, so that's why I'm a bit traveling. So that is why I wasn't able to put on the camera, but I'm still here, and I would like to hear all those great speeches. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're still letting people in. So as you all notice, we changed our time again. We're experimenting with what is the best time for our community to meet. We're going to do a poll probably in 5 or 10 minutes when most of us have arrived, because I don't know what the best time is. I want to accommodate for those that are on the East Coast. We have a lot of folks that are in Europe that would like to participate. We have people in Singapore and Australia and India that would like to participate. So I'm not clear where we should be landing our event for a start time. So I'm gonna have all of you give us some ideas with the poll, and we'll try and see if we can zero in on a time that might make sense for everybody. And it does look like we're going to have another outstanding turnout. So this is great. All righty. So I just want to remind everybody, the most important instruction is please keep your system on mute. That way we can hear and the event can go very smoothly. If you're speaking or you want to speak, you're welcome to unmute. I invite people to actually ask questions or have comments between the elevator pitches to the extent that we can. And so, unmute at those moments if you actually would like to say something. But otherwise, please respect the rest of the room and mute yourself during the majority of the event. Just as a reminder to those who have already been here and those that are brand new and are here for the very first time, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. This is designed to be a 2-minute elevator pitch event, and the temptation to go a lot longer than 2 minutes is there. I try not to cut anybody off. I want to respect everybody, and many of the people who are pitching are exceptionally gifted presenters, and then there are many who are joining us and pitching for the very first time, and everybody in between. And we welcome everybody. There's, you don't have to be a professional pitch person to come to our event. But I do want to try and emphasize, if you can make an effort to keep your pitch to 2 minutes, that will make life a lot easier so we can get as many people in who would like to pitch. The last couple of events that we did ran over 2 hours. And I think just for my sanity, and I think many of you, if we can keep the event to maximum 2 hours, that would be preferred. So tonight, if we start to run late, I might cut off the last speakers that have raised their hands that would like to speak if we can't fit you all in. And I promise I will make it available for you to speak at the next event. We do meet every Wednesday for those of you who haven't been attending our events regularly, but we are an every Wednesday event. The start time has been fluctuating while we experiment what makes the most sense. Couple more comments. The way that you can get in the queue to do a 2-minute elevator pitch is to go to the reaction button and look for the digital hand raise. Do that now so I can get a sense of how many people want to pitch tonight, or I should say today. Thankfully, we're at today. It's easier on us. And it'll make it just easier for me to sort of gauge, but that's the way that we go in the order that Zoom essentially puts you into the queue. So currently we have 12, but I'd like to see more. So I encourage anybody that would like to pitch today and put 2 minutes of time on our center stage, please digitally raise your hand. This is our 11th week. We've done this now 11 straight weeks. We started on August 3rd. So we've had way over 3,000 people who have registered for our live events. We've had, I believe, 2,600 followers on our LinkedIn page, the community page. We well over 40,000 views of the replays of our events on YouTube. So couple of things. If you are not a follower to the Venture Starters page on LinkedIn, please become a follower. That way you'll be able to see what we present. Luke has been adding a number of things to our newsletter outreach, and he constantly has been putting up very good informative information that is the entire community would probably be interested in. Thank you very much, Luke, for doing that. And it would be great if you could participate in the LinkedIn version of who we are. And then also, if you can go to YouTube and subscribe and like to our videos, which help other people then get motivated to watch our videos. We are literally being seen by people all over the world. The last time I looked, last week, for instance, our #1 audience was in India. Each week it kind of changes a little bit. But, you know, we're getting views of people all over the world. And as I mentioned last week, we've actually had people write to me saying, thank you for these. They're learning how to be an entrepreneur by watching all of you. They're learning how to, you know, understand how to raise money because of all of you. So not only are you here, you know, presenting to the investors that come to our events, but you're also helping to educate the world. And I want to thank you all for being part of that. My assistant is going to be managing the chat. If you are not opening, if you haven't opened your chat yet, you need to open your chat. All the action happens in the chat. That's where everybody's going to meet each other. So, you know, the investors are going to reach out to you through the chat. They aren't necessarily going to have their microphones and their cameras on. They may, but, you know, for the most part, I think that the communications between investors and founders and people who are interested in helping you founders is going to happen in the chat. So please open that up. If you'd like to talk to me directly, you won't be able to reach me during the event. My assistant is pretending to be me in the sense that, you know, she's in my account. So the other Mark November you see is my assistant, but you aren't going to be reaching out to me directly. So just be aware of that. We're going to try and experiment with a poll right now before we get started on the 2-minute elevator pitches, because we still have people arriving in the room. We're already over 80. So again, amazing turnout. Thank you all. How does the poll come up? Is it up now? Oh, I'm not seeing it. Is it seeing a poll?
It's there, Mark.
For me.
Okay, great. So this is brand new to me, and I apologize. We're learning as we go. If you'll please fill out the poll, it'll help us, and we'll just basically use this information for future events. Okay. I assume we're almost done with the poll. So let's get started. everybody, I just want to thank you for coming to today's event. Venture Starters is the place where those of us who are starting ventures, this is our community. This is where we have a weekly meeting. I personally believe this is what our ecosystem needs. As many of you know, I don't believe that pitching total strangers is the best way to get anything done, whether that's raising money or whether that's trying to find buyers or scaling the companies in any way, shape, or form. If you can create warm introductions or if you know people, it is usually a better outcome. The reason for this event is to meet more people. Over time, if you keep coming back, you'll meet more people. And then it won't be so hard to at least reach out to others, maybe investors, other founders, consultants, accelerators, others in our community who might be able to help you out. I so appreciate all of you. The only reason this thing has become the success it is absolutely because you all keep showing up. And we continue to grow every single week. And after 11 weeks, I can hardly believe the results that we have so far. So we're going to get started. Again, if we can just keep all of our pitches to approximately 2 minutes, there's no clock, but if you can self-regulate, that would be great. And before we get started, I just want to mention another event called Startup Right. Is Nick here? I would love it if Nick could give just a brief on Startup Right. It's another event that some of you founders might want to attend.
Yeah, hi Mark. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is a great community, and I can only say good things about Mark and his event, and the fact that he is also supporting Startup Right. We organize events every other Thursday. We actually have one tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're sold out for the event tomorrow, and actually the event on October 27th, but we still have seats for November 10th. If you're interested, please join us. The difference between Mark's event and our event is simply that we give more time to startups to pitch. We use their pitch decks, and then they have one-on-one chance to talk to investors in our breakout rooms. My colleague Anna is posting, I see in the chat room, more information. I don't want to take up time from Mark's event anymore. We will post probably one more time information about Startup Right. Again, Mark, thank you very much for the opportunity, and these are great events. I really enjoy joining them. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, we're going to get started. So up first is Alan. You're on mute, Alan.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Real simple. T4L. We're raising 10 million in working capital. We started 2 years ago. First revenue about a year ago. We have 4,000 leads in our CRM. We're getting about 100 leads a week right now. And we put Teslas on the road under a subscription model with everything included: insurance, maintenance, charging, everything. So we're raising capital, looking for accredited investors. Typical minimum's about 100K. We're raising 10 million. We just closed, I think, on 250 today. So that's our story.
Okay, great. Well, short and sweet. Does anybody have any questions or comments? You'll be able to meet Alan in the chat if you want to learn more. Thank you very much, Alan. Up next is Brandon.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am Brandon Gann, founder and CEO of Sapy. And I'll go ahead and get started. Just last December, I bought my girls an easy bake oven, and for the last 10 months, I've been eating the most ridiculous baking things that you could name. However, one good thing has been my girls have really been excited about the idea of starting a food business. And every year they're in good company, because every year we have over 100,000 food businesses that start. And out of those, 1 in 3 restaurants close their doors in the first year. 60% of all food trucks close in 3 years. And then 85% of like food products never gain traction. Sapy, our company, is the first online accelerator for these food startups. We really want to see them succeed and build that food community locally. And so what we have is a marketplace app that connects foodies with local food businesses or food startups in their area. We launched officially just Saturday. We have over 150 users so far. 10 kitchens have had 125 sales in the first 3 or 4 days, and it's all been word of mouth. We are actively, my team and I are actively in our fundraising round or pre-seed round, and we're looking for warm introductions. And I'd love to have some virtual coffee dates, and that's our story. We're sticking to it. Mark, thank you. Luke, again, thank y'all for this opportunity, guys, and that's safety.
Just out of curiosity, how much are you raising? You may have mentioned it, but I didn't hear.
I didn't. We're raising a pre-seed round of 550K, looking at possibly safes and notes at this stage.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Brandon?
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, have you heard of Techstars?
I have. I actually have a meeting on Friday with a guy out of Atlanta from Techstars. So I have.
Great. I hope it goes well. I have a connection there as well, and that would be my first stop. I think that they'll be very interested in what you have to offer.
Absolutely.
And I'm just thinking David Culver might be, he's probably not here. I'm looking, probably because of our time. Too bad. So we need to hook you up with David. He's an investor in the food space.
Okay.
It's an event, and he also is an investor at the Startup Right event, which I also am on the investor panel with him. He would be an excellent person for you to speak with. Is there anybody else with a question or a comment?
I just want to respond to Dr. Crystal. No, we're not using easy bake ovens. That was my girls use easy bake ovens. We're really just connecting those food businesses. So people at food trucks, restaurants, and CPG companies primarily. But great question.
Okay, terrific. All right, so if any of you would like to meet Brandon, you can find him in the chat. Thank you, Brandon. We so appreciate it. Up next is Nicholas.
Hi, everyone. Mark, thanks for having me. I'm launching a few different life sciences ventures, raising anywhere from $75K to $5 million, primarily focused in the health area and pharmaceuticals, where one is focused in the supplements market. Today, I'm going to be talking about molecular medicine, which is targeting the Alzheimer's industry. All the time I get the question, we don't know where Alzheimer's comes from. Where do you think Alzheimer's comes from? What is causing it? What's causing this neurodegeneration? And the idea that we don't know anything about Alzheimer's is absolutely ridiculous. We know tons and tons of information about Alzheimer's, and it's a little bit like sitting around the breakfast table debating whether the chicken or egg came first when we could just crack some eggs and eat some breakfast. So in Alzheimer's, we know that there is a changed phenotype of immune cells that are secreting neurotoxins. We know that there are elevated circulating levels of neurotoxins. We know there's increased expression of cell death machinery. And so I'm raising seed capital for that company with serial entrepreneurs who have multiple successful exits to commercialize a couple of different approaches to this dreaded neurodegenerative disorder.
And just out of curiosity, like, what are some of the solutions? Is this a pharmaceutical solution, supplement solution, medical device? Pharmaceutical. Okay.
And our lead asset targets neuroinflammation.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is a pathway through FDA approval.
Yes.
Okay. And how far along are you?
Revenue would be between 3 and 5 years from licensing. We are raising seed capital to get that asset into what's called IND studies, which is the step before phase 1 human clinical trials.
Neat. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Yep, I do. Hi, Nicholas. Have you talked to SOSV yet?
We have talked to one of their branches, and the conversation, their take was that we were a little early for them.
I may have someone for you. I'll be in touch via LinkedIn.
All right, thank you.
Do we have any of our life science investors here that might have a question? Just so you know, Nicholas, we're going to hold a life science specific event. We held one a couple weeks ago, and it was really quite spectacular. We're going to do another one. I believe it's going to be the first Saturday in November. I don't have that date off the top of my head, but it'll be posted on the venturestarters.com website this evening. So you might want to come back when we're all focused, at least for, just on healthcare, medical devices, pharmaceutical, life sciences, biotech type of startup companies. So,
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much for presenting. All right, up next is Daryl. Good to see you, Daryl.
Good to be seen. Thanks, Mark. I love this community. If you said this is your 11th, I think myself or my partner have been to probably 8 of them. So great seeing everyone again. Let me tell you about Rakoti. I'm running operations in partnership with a great team of advisors that we have. We're a sports tech platform that will give teams the ability to turn fan memories into strategic assets that help build stronger relationships, tap into emotional fan data, and generate new revenue. While focusing on providing value to sports enterprises, Rakoti also will reward fans via digital tokens for sharing their favorite memories in order to drive year-round engagement. We have a scalable multi-tenant SaaS platform that will aggregate these fan-generated content pieces that clients can integrate into a variety of multimedia experiences, including but not limited to digital scrapbooks, social media posts, vignettes, TV broadcasts, and metaverse platforms. I'm happy to go into further detail on some one-on-ones. I know I have to follow up with some investors here on the call. We are looking for strategic partners, and we're currently in the midst of a $500,000 pre-seed raise. We've done plenty of pitch events, and we have validation from about 300 conversations that we've had across college sports, professional leagues, and former athletes. So again, I'll put my information in the chat again. Thanks for the opportunity, and I look forward to talking to you guys about any questions you might have.
Well, you might mention the professional sports teams that you and your partners have personally been involved with, so that people understand that you're talking to people at the highest level of sports.
Yeah, so I have a background with the NHL. I worked either at headquarters or with some strategic partners of the NHL for 22 years. Other board members are connected to the NFL, worked with the New York Giants, headed up tickets with Texas Rangers. We have 2 ladies on the team that have done great work with the Nationals, the Milwaukee Brewers. There's so much there. And we're happy to share more. I'll put information again in the chat. But yeah, thank you for that question, Mark, and I'm happy to talk further.
Any other questions or comments for Daryl?
Mark, Grant, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please.
Okay. So, hi, Daryl. Nice presentation. So, the token, is it a crypto token or is it cryptocurrency? And if it's a crypto token, which cryptocurrency is it paid? That's the first part of my question. I guess I can just ask the second because it matched the first. The second one is, how many tokens do you guys plan to have in circulation? And what is it going to be a utility ascribed to it?
Right. So we're definitely very big into Web3 integrations. There's no crystal clear formula. I'd love to chat with you offline about some of the conversations we've had with teams and what direction we're looking to go there. But certainly, from creating and minting NFTs to developing some augmented reality experiences, there's a lot of potential opportunities for us.
In the chat for my wife, and I will love to talk.
Okay, thank you so much for that question.
Anybody else with a question for Daryl?
I have a question.
Please.
I love this idea. Are you restricting this to professional teams, or are you also looking at NCAA teams?
Oh, definitely NCAA and across the gamut. I mean, pickleball, MMA, there's so many opportunities where fans want to have more authentic strategic partnerships with their teams and their brands and their favorite athletes. So we are quite heavy into discussions with some NCAA teams and NIL collectives.
Okay, good. Anybody else have a question?
Hey.
Go ahead,
You hear
Tara.
me? Hey,
Yep.
Terrence Lynch, how are you?
Hi, Terrence.
I love if you have some background noise, I apologize. Love your idea. I've been a big believer in the blockchain world. I don't like to call it crypto because people get a little shady when it comes to that, but the blockchain world. There is a company that works with all the Premier Leagues, et cetera, offering a fan, when you buy into fan club. I forget the token off the top of my head. I made a lot of money on it, actually, like 2 years ago. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
You
Are you
came
familiar
in.
with the token I'm talking about? SoCat. I forgot the token, but there's a token that you basically you go buy, Manchester United points with your token, etc.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of tokens. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. I'd have to look.
It was in the top 50 for a while. I forgot that. You just threw me. I invested in it for about 6 months. Made a shitload of money. It went from 50 cents to like $5.
Okay.
Because it was a real world example, and that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm building in healthcare. So anyway, I apologize for going off track and taking away from what you're doing, but a great idea. But there is a company that Socios is the name of the company.
Yes. I'm definitely. Yeah.
Chili's.
Socios is gigantic. Yes.
Chili's is the token.
Yeah. So
great idea.
Yeah.
If you could do that, implement that, and you got connections, you're off to the races. Great idea.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Terrence. And in the interest of time, I'm happy to take this to the chat. And I'd love to.
I'm not an investor. I'm not an investor. I have my own company.
No, but if you, of course, tips and insights. But I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Go all the way. Let's go.
Thanks, Terrence. And Daryl, we're going to have to move on, but thank you very much for your presentation.
My pleasure.
Okay. All right. Up next is Ash.
Thanks, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Ash, founder at White Label, Advanced Games for Businesses. So it's my third pitch, and before going ahead, just want to share with the community that we have got a 25% commitment for our round today. So for the last couple of years, we have been bothered by targeted ads from businesses without any consent. What usually happens is when we browse the web or use apps on our phones, these websites and apps collect our personal data. They keep track of us using cookies and identifiers. Later, this aggregated data are sold as third-party data. Apple took a preventive step and made it mandatory that every app needs the user's consent to access that identifier. Google is doing the same, and by 2023, they will restrict the uses of third-party cookies from Chrome. With all these restrictions, businesses will need first-party data. First-party data is the information a business collects from the audience directly. Now, what does that have to do with our advert games? On average, players spend 17 minutes on advert games. Advert games can collect first-party data at scale. Thus, advert games are an effective solution to solve this problem. We tested the concept with a simple landing page only. Just in 4 months, we have made $9,000 in revenue making advert games. We want to make advert games available to businesses of all sizes with a Canva-like no-code platform. We're raising an angel round of 100K through SafeNote. The link is in the chat. The fund will enable us to build this SaaS, and we have a strategy to raise $5 million annual revenue within a year. Thank you.
Ash, if I could just add something, and you can remind me if I have your business correct or not. But as I understand it, you drive people to play a game, and then as they're playing the game, they need to go to, for example, the sponsor's website and look for a specific clue that then is part of the game to then take that clue information and then come back to the game to move to the next level. So what ends up happening is that 100% of the game players that reach a certain level end up on the website of the sponsor in order to go and find that information, or they go to the landing page of the sponsor, whatever it is, however it's set up. And essentially they're driving an enormous percentage of traffic to the sponsor's website. And I thought when I heard this idea was very clever and worthy of others to take a closer look. Do I have that correct, Ash?
Yeah, this is often the idea, but often the thing is at the end, the players get to win something. There are some prizes. So sometimes if this is a B2C brand, for example, if this is a restaurant, they can win some coupons or vouchers. So they can play the game and they can get some highest score on the leaderboard. And the brand usually gives them something. Sometimes this is 3 coins. Sometimes this is coupons, sometimes vouchers, and sometimes
I'm sorry, Ash, I muted you by accident because there was some other background noise I was trying to get rid of. But just out of curiosity, does anybody have any questions, Ash, before we move on?
Yes, that was me, the background noise. Sorry. Ash, great idea. Please text me out or reach out to me regarding this idea. I have a couple of different possibilities for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you send me your LinkedIn on the chat so that I can connect?
Ash,
I'm old. I'm very bad at that. Please, just like if you send me something, I will totally respond. But for me to, anyway.
Look for Terrence Lynch, Ash. That's who's speaking. Is there anybody else who?
Thank you.
Yes. Is there anybody else that has a question or comment for Ash? Okay, so you'll meet Ash if anybody wants to in the chat, and we will move on. So up next is Alex.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex Schaffhausen. I'm the founder and CEO of Gravy. So Gravy is a social music service. The original problem we set out to solve is that there's no easy way to share music with friends. Think about it. If I want to send you my favorite song from Spotify, for example, I have to click a link from Spotify, leave Spotify, go to my iMessage, Discord, whatever it is, paste the link, send you the link, and then you probably won't click it. So what we did is we went out and built a social first music platform with our own record label catalog. So you can share, consume music and build up your own musical library. And what's interesting for us is a lot of athletes and Twitch streamers and YouTube stars like our service because they can use music to build up their online persona. And it's another tool for them to like build up social media clout, if you will, right? So if you think about it, you have Instagram for your photos, you have Twitter for your thoughts, I guess, and now you have Gravy for your for music sharing. So we're raising a $3 million seed round on a safe. We are about halfway committed, and we've got a great team. And if you're interested, let me know.
Is it gravy.com that you own?
It's gravysocial.xyz.
Ah, got it. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question. You were saying about sharing music. I could share music files even on messaging. So what makes this so different?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of people, specifically teenagers, they attempt to share music, but they have to leave the music platform, whatever they use, Spotify, SoundCloud, etc., go to their messaging platform. So they can send a link, but that leaving the one platform, going to the other creates a psychological barrier. And there's a lot of friction. So a lot of sharing simply doesn't happen. So what we found is within our platform, the sharing, consumption, and library building is all done within the platform. So music sharing happens much more on a regular basis because we've empowered our users to do so. So we've reduced a key layer of friction within our platform.
Please go ahead.
I have a question. Are you guys in revenue yet?
So we're pre-revenue. We have 100,000 or about 100,000 people on our wait list, and about 10,000 people on our system. And then as we grow, we'll start converting people into subscribers. So we're pre-revenue, but early like user growth.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Is this is it here? The Gravy platform? This is the website?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's our landing page.
All right, so this is my background. I negotiated with, I come from the record industry. I worked, I'm 36 now, but at 17, I worked alongside Interscope, a full musician, Scarface of the Ghetto Boys, that's my cousin. So this is like my home. I also negotiated with Sony, Warner, and Universal for our music product that's launching next year. So we took the traditional route of licensing the music to build like a new streaming service. So my question to you is, I noticed a lot of companies over the last 4 years of me being involved in this, they want to have a blockchain initiative But the problem there is people want to go to where Kendrick Lamar's song is. They want to go to where DJ Khaled's new song is. So although they love the new discovery and you may have your own catalog where you don't have to deal with the big record companies, then you have a problem with actually growing a user base because they want to go and listen to a Beyonce song. So that's my statement. Question to you is, are you guys interested in eventually partnering with the record companies whereby a portion of your platform is traditional and then the other portion that you're growing where you have licensed your own content and you can have a reversal strategy whereby you license some content out to Spotify, it can lower the barrier of you're getting content from them. Because at the end of the day, to make this work, people want to know that Beyonce tweeted and they can go directly to your app and listen to her song.
Yeah, okay, so you know exactly what we're doing then. So the answer is we are doing that, a variation of that strategy. So we're working with independents, some of the publishers, some of the majors, but not quite far enough along yet. And then we also have our own strategy for independent musicians to upload their own content and mint it as an NFT. So you mentioned blockchain. I did not mention that in my elevator pitch. But the way we're tokenizing it is on the social side, right? So the fans are actually the distributors and marketers of music. And so every time, let's say it's an athlete like Dak Prescott, right? Quarterback for the Cowboys. He shares a song. He now promotes that song to his following because he's Dak Prescott. He has a big audience. So he'll earn tokens from our platform. And then eventually through our staking mechanism, those tokens will make their way back to the musician and they'll make more money on our platform. So we're actually tokenizing the fan side. And then that goes to the musician. Because everyone's trying to.
Let's talk. What? I get it now. Message me. That's pretty unique. And I don't say that.
I agree.
Yeah, message me. Let's talk.
Okay, let's do it.
Sorry, Alex, again, going back to Socios. Check out Socios. They have a token called Chili's. They work with most of the major soccer teams, Premier League, etc. So you can either be an add-on or a competitor, but you sound like definitely on the, on the right track to the new revolution.
Yes, I think we could be an add-on. So I'm very happy to chat if you're open to it.
Yeah, anytime, absolutely, anytime. And
who is that talking? I can't see who. Is that you? Okay, Tara. Okay.
Sorry. That's me. Yeah. Hey, sorry about that. Anyway, great idea. Keep plugging away. That's all.
Cool.
If I can connect you anywhere, I can connect you, but that's all.
Very nice. Okay. Anybody else have a question or comment of Alex? All right, Alex, you got a bunch of action to follow up on in the chat. Very good. Up next is Leslie. Good to see you, Leslie. You're on mute still.
I need to get, there we go.
And right. There you
go. Thank you. Well, I've got something that unless this thing happens in terms of reversing climate change, none of your businesses are even going to be in business. And that is called a major problem called climate change. That is the biggest threat to humanity that we've got. And we don't have a big solution out there. So what we're about is creating a sustainable products and services marketplace, utilizing sustainable purchasing to reverse climate change. And it's a B2C and a B2B2C model. So businesses can actually use our marketplace as a tool for being an employee benefit, an employee, customer, partner, or supplier incentive, recognition, reward tool. And it makes them look good. Who's driving this? Millennials and Gen Zs. They have had enough.
I'm sorry, Leslie, can I give you a quick tidbit? If you don't, great pitch. I've seen it before. Can you do less about the climate change part as opposed to the sustainable? Because you have a great, awesome pitch and a great, everything. But
who's talking?
I'm sorry, Tara Lynch. etc.
Okay, so I was
great pitch. I love your idea, but just be more open to the world of people who maybe are shy away from the climate change world.
Climate is a huge issue and it needs to be discussed. Sorry.
But climate change can also be very scientifically debated. And that's where we kind of come to crossroads.
Yeah, Tara, just to let you know, my understanding of this format is that we get to pitch and then people, if they have something to say afterwards, they can do that. And
I apologize. I am totally second week here.
Many people here that have not heard the pitch. So
agreed. And Leslie, continue.
Thank you. So, yes, so climate change is a major problem and no other businesses are going to be around until we do something about it. So it matters a lot to me. This is people that we're talking about. It is not products. It is about the survival of our planet and the people on it. What we're intending to do is create a place where people can come together, finally, businesses, all kinds of individuals on the planet. There is no one place right now to purchase all sustainable packaged goods. Not one place. 50.1% of entire consumer packaged good market is all in sustainable goods. 50.1% of all growth. That's a lot.
This is
so the other thing is that investors.
Hold on, we got somebody that's needs to be unmuted.
Companies.
Hold on. Leslie, you're gonna have to start up again. Sorry, unmute yourself. I had to just mute the whole audience because it's hard for me to figure out whose microphone is on.
Yes.
You seem to be the winner of the challenging slot, and you're holding up fantastic, and we're all there with you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how much was heard there, but anyway, if anybody thinks about it right now, who cares about our planet and buys sustainable goods and services, or who wants to buy them, there is not one place like an Amazon where all of it exists. And I'm not just talking about products, I'm talking about services. So if you want to buy green landscaping services, green architect services, and on and on and on, you got to sit there on the internet and you got to go around here, around there, even consumers, Trader Joe's for this and this little website for that, wasting time and money. We don't have it in one place. And this is 2022. Really? This is amazing. This market is the fastest growing investor market out there. It is producing almost 1.5 times the regular stock market. Investors are paying attention. Organizations are now being asked by investors for environmental impact reports. That number went from 48 to 75% in 2019. They are paying attention. So are partners, suppliers, shareholders, and individuals. We're looking for pre-seed, 3 million, looking for a CEO with e-commerce background. And we are currently working on our prototype, and I'm very close, about 1 month away from a patent on a sustainable tracking measurement algorithm. And I've got 2 startups and 2 turnarounds under my belt, including a 1,000-person startup turnaround at IBM. Thank you very much. Let's save our planet.
Thank you, Leslie. All right. That was I see a bunch of people applauding for you that you made it through. So very cool. Does anybody have any questions? And I just want to remind everybody here, the whole idea is we're nice to everybody. You have an opportunity to connect with people and give them your advice through the chat directly, but not in front of the whole audience. We're not looking to embarrass anybody. This is an opportunity just for positive networking. That said, does anybody have any comments or questions of Leslie?
Yeah, I actually have something constructive.
Okay, let's hold on. Okay, Blake, you're first. Go ahead.
Thank you. Leslie, I actually know another place that you might consider pitching if you haven't already. Have you met Cody J. Locke of Ignite Social Impact?
No, I have not.
I really think you should connect with him. They have their own sort of very climate-focused social impact pitch event kind of thing, like what we're doing here, but more focused on startups like yours. And they're also running their own crowdfunding platform. I haven't checked exactly what the criteria are to get in there, but I really think he would be interested.
Wow.
And I'd be happy just to drop his LinkedIn in here. I'll send you that.
That
and
is
use my name and connect with him.
That is great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Does anybody else have a question or comment?
Yeah, I do, Mark. My name's
Perfect. So good to see you. Go ahead.
I know Cody, and definitely you should check out their website. I myself almost signed up. There are a few things we might work through, but I forgot the name of it. Oh yeah, Ignite. But it's very nice, the crowdfunding, and they are definitely focused on climate like you and I.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I know Cody.
Anybody else?
I would just like to say that I think that was a great pitch, and that I think we can go like harder and bolder in the paint in talking about the importance of immediate impact of climate change by finding some statistics on the carbon footprint of Amazon as of right now.
Dr. Crystal, we appreciate your comments, but it was very hard to hear your audio, I have to say.
But
Oh, there you go.
I barely heard it, and I agree with you, Amazon.
Oh, wait a minute. I think she's fixed it, possibly.
No, sorry, my earring just but yeah, just finding.
It's not working. Your audio just isn't working. I'm so sorry. We would love to be hearing you too. Why don't you see if you can fix that for the future? But I appreciate your support of Leslie. You can meet her in the chat. And thank you, Leslie. We're going to have to move on.
Thank
so
you.
Next up is Drew.
Hey, y'all. Leslie, if you want to interrupt me, you can. You've got 2 mulligans. My name is Drew Schultens. I'm the founder of Oink Ching. That's Oink like a pig, Ching like money going into a piggy bank. We are a financial literacy platform for adults. So I figured I'd kick this thing off by doing a little thought exercise. If you take the next 5 seconds and just think about what is your go-to financial literacy platform? Good. Now that most of you can't think of one, that kind of illustrates the point. For most of us, it's just we go to YouTube or we take the advice of the broker we're talking to or the mortgage counselor that we're talking to. It's an insane space. We recognize an issue. We've spent about 4.5 years studying why financial literacy has failed. Not that we need it. I think it's clear that we need it. But the question was, why has it failed? And we've developed a 26-point reason, basically a rubric of why financial literacy isn't being absorbed by people. And we rebuilt Oink Ching around those concepts. And so we shoot our videos different. We structure our content different. We talk differently. We dress differently. We do everything differently. We price differently. And so it's a really unique approach to helping people understand about money. So right now you're probably thinking, Drew, a BDC play, well needed. Ooh, B2C though, but no. There's an industry desperate. See, the research says that the reality is we don't want to talk about our money or even deal with our money until there's that moment of like, I've got to actually fix something, right? And so there's this narrow window where you're ready to listen and learn about money. And that same window is the time when banks and credit unions want to meet you. And so what we've done on Oink Ching is we allow the consumer to choose a sponsor if they want to. It's up to them to choose a sponsor who can sponsor them, and that drives the prices on the platform all the way down. Consumers, when they buy content, they own it for life, but we keep updating it, meaning you're building something that we call education as an asset. You're really building your library of financial topics, and we focus all of our content on life events that you are going through because it's all focused on application. So when we cover a topic, it's 360, it's total cost of ownership, it's from start to finish, it's in depth, it's quick pace, it's humorous, it's full of stories. I tell lots of jokes. And it's just a wild ride. We've built the tool. We're market ready. We've signed our first bank, which is a huge milestone because banks don't like to sign things. We've signed our first bank. We're raising $1 million now at a 20% equity, just straight shares, because we've got a direct line to profitability, and we're really geeked and excited about it. So that's Oink Ching, oink like a pig, ching like money going into a piggy bank. Thank you all.
Okay, that was a great presentation. Education as an asset is a great phrase. I thought that was cool. Does anybody have any questions?
I have questions.
Go ahead.
Hi, Drew. This is Durad speaking. So one, I had a question, but it kind of shifted when you got to the valuation point. It sounds as if you're valuing the company now at $5 million. Is that correct?
Post this round, it'll be $5 million. Yep.
Yeah, that seems a bit low for the fintech industry. I would love to talk to you about that offline. But my question is this a peer-to-peer play where it's two-sided marketplace where you're going to provide a service where individuals with knowledge can share with individuals that don't have the knowledge and charge for that particular knowledge, and you guys make a off of it?
Great question. Actually, phenomenal question. So one of those 26 points is that the mentor-mentee relationship is a fundamental human archetype, meaning it's a relationship that is fundamental to us. And so it is our expectation and our goal to always control the content creation that we do. We do bring in experts. So I brought in 4 experts already, a mortgage broker. We brought in a car mechanic in our car course, and we talk about the car from a perspective of car mechanic things. So we bring in experts, but we control the content and Oink Ching. We're responsible for it. That's critical for bank compliance. Again, our customers are banks and credit unions. They have a heavy regulatory and compliance environment. We control all of our content. All of our content's reviewed by a compliance team before it goes live. So it is a B2B2C. In that way, some people can say that's a two-sided market. But when it comes to the content creation, we aren't linking just random people to random mentors like Masterclass, right? We control the content. The content's coming from us.
So I would advise this. One, be very careful on mentioning that valuation starting out, because the rule of thumb is you want to get to at least 3 rounds without selling 25% of your company. So when you say 20% is going to be the equity distribution, especially with what you're doing in the fintech market, you're actually pricing yourself out of the market, because fintech products have a much more rich, the valuations are much more rich. So I would stick towards more focusing on something like a SAFE or a KISS starting out, a KISS agreement starting out, opposed to trying to give away so much equity. Because based on what you told me, if everything checks out during due diligence, then I believe that you can start out with a valuation higher than that. So perhaps you want to actually raise a round on a SAFE where you can prove out you can attack some of your proof points, and then you can increase the valuation. Because if you start out like that, it's going to be very hard for you to retain a lot of equity and keep that momentum for yourself to come to work every day with starting out with such a rich valuation. But I'm interested. Send me a message so we can talk.
You bet. Yeah, I really appreciate that. A lot of that is based on ed tech, not fintech, because we don't offer any financial services. So I totally get your point. I think you make a lot of good points there. I'm less concerned about.
Never mention that again publicly.
Okay. All right. I'm too cheap. Dang it! It's not the first time I've been told that in my life.
Okay. Anybody else have a question or comment?
Yeah, Drew, we should talk. I have a client in my consulting business who's playing in this space relative to teachers. You can imagine what their salaries are like.
Yeah. Cool.
Good
Appreciate
idea.
it.
Anybody else? All right, Drew, that was fun. Thank you. We're going to move on. I would like to point out, somebody just sent a message through my assistant. I had forgotten to mention this earlier. For networking purposes, if you hover on your photograph and you go onto the 3 dots, it will give you the option to do rename, and you can add your email address after your real name. And by doing that, you can get some additional exposure. So for some of you, you might want to consider doing that. And thank you for whoever sent that comment in through my assistant. Up next is David.
All right. So it's me, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You're up, David. Welcome.
Sounds good. How's it going, everybody? So I'm the founder of DapperCare, a healthcare technology company. In 2019, I was diagnosed with cluster headaches, which are extremely debilitating. Unfortunately, the earliest I could get in to see a specialist was 8 months out. And that was with a referral from my wife, who works at Stanford Hospital. That experience made me realize how broken and antiquated the healthcare system is today. The process individuals go through to get help is cumbersome and expensive. Patients are losing patience in their healthcare system, and they're tired of the system not putting them first. People are struggling to get the care they need when they need it. When it comes to addressing sensitive health issues, embarrassing doctor visits are inconvenient, costly, and inaccessible to the average American. In the US, the average American waits 27 days to go see a doctor when they try to make an appointment. So I wanted to develop a solution to this problem that I experienced firsthand. And that's what I'd like to introduce DapperCare. DapperCare connects consumers with licensed medical professionals, enables everyone to seek the health and wellness care they deserve, no matter who they are or where they're located. Our goal is to be the first stop in people's journey to accessing treatments for hundreds of conditions, utilizing our multi-condition health and wellness platform, providing access to high quality, affordable care without the need for insurance. We believe that the future of healthcare will be led by patients. This is why we put consumers back in the driver's seat when it comes to their health. We are currently raising $3.5 million to cover operations, development, and marketing costs. Our focus is on destigmatizing men's and women's sexual health, hair loss, skincare, daily health, and mental health. Our key differentiators are we're offering personalized treatment plans that that are created and compounded through our licensed pharmacy. We have proprietary compounded delivery methods, such as, sublingual dissolvable strips for our, ED medications. We have providing diagnostic testing, such as pharmacogenomics testing, similar to 23andMe, and that's part of our personalized treatments. And we provide in-home care services for diagnostics, because 1 in 4 doctor visits requires some type of diagnostic work. Online consultation is much different than our competition, because it's an interactive experience utilizing AI and voice recognition. And finally, we've got a built-in API so that we can integrate wearable devices for monitoring. That's all she wrote. Any questions?
Thanks, David. I thought that was a better pitch than the last one, and you're improving. In my opinion, I learned more this time. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have a couple questions for him, or information. Medicine is going in a different way. We're working right now with robotics that will be in doctors' offices, and you have like CVS and Costco and are looking at having welfare centers where robots go in and do certain things. But technologies are being developed to shorten that time that people have to wait for doctors, and they'll be able to do everything from up until the treatment, if there is any kind of surgery that's going to get done. But I like your project. I'd like to connect with you and talk to you offline.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anybody else have a question? If Alan Gilbert is here, you might want to talk to Alan. Alan is a co-sponsor of this event. He invited 1,000 of his first connections on LinkedIn to this event, and I want to thank you, Alan, again for doing that.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah.
Space.
Please connect with me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I just did look at the calendar. So we're gonna hold our next life science event on November 5th. It's a Saturday. And I would encourage everybody that's focused on biotech of any type, healthcare of any type, to come to that event. If it's like the last one, it's gonna be a great event.
What time?
It'll probably be 2 o'clock Pacific, like we did last time, but look for the event notification on the venturestarters.com website later this evening. We will post it so that we can get people to start signing up. And thank you very much, David, for coming back.
Thank you.
You've got something really interesting. I hope we can help you out. Up next is Netta.
Hi, everyone. So good to be back here. This is my 3rd time attending this great event, my 2nd time pitching. My 1st time pitching was a couple of weeks ago, more than a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to thank Blake. He has been very helpful for everybody else, and he has helped me a lot too. So thank you, Blake. I am Neda Emami. I am the CEO and founder of SAG. SAG is a peer-to-peer marketplace for outdoor gear rental. So we are the Airbnb, but for the outdoor gear. The problem with the outdoor gear is that they're very expensive and they're not even accessible. So imagine that you're going on a trip and you book an Airbnb and there is a lake near to your Airbnb and your kids want to go by the lake and have some fun time. And then they see everybody else are doing kayaking or paddleboarding and they want to do it, but they don't have a paddleboard or kayak. What are your options? Would you drive a couple of hours to buy them a paddleboard? Probably not. But what if you could just like rent a paddleboard from one of the locals who are living near that lake? You can just like go pick it up in a matter of minutes, let your kids and yourself enjoy the lake, doing the kayaking and paddleboarding, and then they return the gear. So we built that platform to make outdoor gear accessible and affordable for everyone, for locals, adventurers, and travelers. So today we know that there are a lot of underutilized outdoor gear sitting in people's garages collecting dust. And on the other hand, there are a lot of travelers and adventurers trying more and more outdoor activities. So after COVID and people having the flexibility of doing remote or hybrid work, a lot of more people are experiencing more outdoor activities. The studies have shown that 78% of millennials and almost all of Gen Z rather to spend their money on experiences than purchasing goods. So the demand is really, really high, and we're trying to feed that demand. We created the platform. We launched on July 15 of 2022. So far, we have launched in Bay Area, California, Denver, Colorado. We have almost around 400 listings on our platform from these two areas. And our goal is to saturate these two states and then move to other states. We expanded our team. We're so excited. We onboarded our account executive last week. It's me, my co-founder, Sharmin Zirak, and our CTO. And we're going to onboard our first technical member inside the US. So far, we have been working with overseas technical team. Right now, we are raising $700,000 on SafeNote. And I would love to get in touch with whoever have any questions or if you're interested to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So, hi, Netta. Am I pronouncing your name? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Netta?
Yes, Netta, that's correct.
Awesome. So I'm Duran, and thanks for answering my question. So are you all focusing on the demand side or the supply side of the marketplace first? And then I have a follow-up question.
Are we focusing on?
Demand or the supply side? Which side are you all focusing on?
So since it's a marketplace right now, we are focusing on the supply side at this moment because this is how marketplaces work. You have to have enough supplies to be able to provide value for your demand side. And that's what we're doing. We are focusing on getting more suppliers, but at the same time, simultaneously, we're bringing renters on the platform too.
Okay, so you mentioned, and perhaps you can answer both of these questions in one. You mentioned the equivalent to Airbnb. So it makes me wonder, what is your core KPI as far as your GMV is concerned? And what's the TAM for this market?
Well, what KPI are you asking about?
Your KPI. So the KPI for Airbnb could be weekly listings. Like what is your KPI as far as your GMV is concerned? How you're measuring your GMV?
So here's the thing. So for Airbnb, for example, they had to create that platform and bring users to learn that number. So for example, they needed to have 300 listings, 100 listings with reviews for people to keep coming and using their platform. We don't know that number yet, but we are finding out. Okay, the TAM, the total addressable market. Do you have any measurements on the TAM for your industry? No, I don't have that right now.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a quick question?
Hey, this is Maya Davis.
Hi, Maya.
Hey, Nita.
Hi.
Hi, how's everyone? Hey, since you're focusing on the supply side, is there any criteria for the equipment? For example, how old it is or how safe it is? So similar to Uber, a car has to be a certain age. I think now it's 2010 and above.
Yes.
Do you guys have something similar like that?
Sure. So right now, right now and forever, our platform is a P2P and B2C. And for now, we're mostly focusing on bringing the local shops that are renting outdoor gear. So they have gear on their inventory ready to be rented. And, they do they take care of their gear. And we are focusing right now on the higher value of gear, like mountain bikes, bicycles, or ski gear. And then we have individuals as well that they bring high quality, high value gear as well. So right now our focus is mostly on the higher quality, higher value gear right now.
Okay, anybody else real quick?
Yeah, I just have a quick comment.
Sure.
Yeah, hi Neda.
Hi Mariam, good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. I've heard your pitch before, so I think it's great. I would definitely sign up. And it would be great if you guys expand beyond the Bay Area.
Absolutely, for sure. So, but the thing
Colorado,
is,
right?
Yes, California and Colorado. But the thing for marketplace is that to be successful and to be sustainable, you have to saturate markets first and then move on to the next market. So that's what we're trying to do, but we're hoping to expand really fast to other states as well.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you,
Netta,
Maria.
Netta, we should definitely talk, because clearly there's an environmental impact part of what you're doing, just kind of like the people that are renting out EVs that people have sitting in their driveway and it just sits there for 3 weeks, and why not rent it out? So
Absolutely,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'll definitely connect with you, Leslie. Thank you.
That's good.
Okay, we're going to have to move on because we have a whole bunch of people that still would like to pitch in this. This will be our last hour. And I just want to warn a few of them at the very end that if we are coming up to the top of the hour, we're going to have to put you at the front of the queue for the next event, because I do want to end on time this time, or at least get us going on that pathway in the future. Also, Frederick, before you start, you're going to be up in a moment. We had a technical problem with Russ Vaughn, who should have actually been in the queue, but we accidentally couldn't get him there, or we disconnected him. Russ, are you available to now do your pitch?
Yeah, sure am, yeah.
Go ahead. We're going to do you first, and then Frederick, you'll be right after Russ. Go ahead. Go ahead, Russ.
Mark knows I got a lot of patents. I got a lot of ideas and everything. I listen to you guys on here all the time, and I want to chime in, but I don't ever do it. One of the things I'd like to talk to you guys about later is this green shower system I have here. But I live in Florida, and I thought today I should really come to you with one of my patents that I have. And with the hurricane that hit down south, you know, one of the problems is I've worked like a lot of these hurricanes, and the wind will hit underneath the overhangs of houses and lift the house, and that becomes a lift point. The places that wind destroys homes is like through the garage, you know, knock in the garage door, lift the roof, go to the side of your soffit, lift the side of the soffit. Gable winds are weak spots too. I've got patents actually for every bit of the house. But this one right here I wanted to discuss. I'm going to send this over to Certainty actually. But I thought if I pitch this, you guys, somebody like this, you guys want to maybe, you know, I can get the pricing put together on what it takes. Everything on this, I can buy it off the shelf. On soffit, this is a soffit panel. This is what soffit's pretty much been on every house for a long time. There's never been any changes to the soffit forever. Soffit's always been the same. Soffit is for aesthetic reasons on outside, and it vents to let air in. So the air that goes in and then comes out the top of your home. And then it snaps together. You guys that know construction, snaps together. This becomes your soffit panel. We have a face out here. We have an F channel and a J channel. What I've come up with is I've got a product that actually fits just like your soffit. And then right before a tornado, I got a friend that owns Roll Shield down here. And then you can actually push a button and it lets down hurricane shutters over top of your windows. And this is going to work on the same concept. I'm going to use 80-20 material. We already got this all done. And actually this thing will slide down, change the angle, and now you don't have a lift point. Now I take away your lift point, so I'm deflecting and I have no one's done anything with soffit ever. There's never been anything done with soffit. So I have zero competition, and I know that this creates its own marketplace. This can be used for tornadoes. Got a tornado warning hits, you hit the button, it comes down. It's automated. I can do this also mechanical, but nobody will probably want to do it. You'll probably want to do it with a push button. But for hurricanes, this is a big deal. 2006, they actually came out with new hurricane codes down here in Florida. And down here in Florida, they didn't have anything that would actually connect the roof. They didn't have anything that would connect the roof to the wall section like this. This part was missing. So this part, when the wind would come under here, it would just lift it off. So now I'm deflecting that wind. But this actually is part of another patent. I got 3 patents at the University of Florida, and it's a universal system that actually will connect all the way from down here in Florida. We have sinkholes, but I don't want to get off of too much rabbit trail, but it connects all the way across the house, a unitary system. I can also do something similar with this for seismic stuff too. So, but at any rate, the soffit, I actually could put together all the pricing if somebody was interested in that. I've got several products I like to pitch on here. Mark's actually part of one of them, and one of them I really like to get it out there. This one, if somebody likes the idea, I'll get the numbers together for them, and maybe we could take it to the market. But I'd like to find someone who's well connected to maybe help me put this into a licensing agreement if anybody is interested. That's
So
my pitch, Mark.
Thank you, Russ. Russell is a prolific inventor. He has amazing stuff. He needs people who would like to take what he's doing to market and or be CEOs of brand new companies that would be spun off with some of his IP. There's a lot of potential. If any of you are game to learn about some of his amazing IP, please meet with Russ in the chat.
Mark tells me to stay. He said, "Man, Russ, just stay on one item." And I'm like, well, I got 7 patents. I got 7 provisionals. I got 7 provisionals, 7 non-provisionals. But this one, when you guys were talking about actually with your green marketing, this is a very simple little idea, guys. I got a patent on. This thing should really be on the market. You can do this through electronics because this is going to take too long to go into how big this market can be. But that little product right there, it has its own. This hooks up to your shower. It doesn't have to look like this, obviously.
Russ, here's my suggestion. You come back again and give us some of your inventions one at a time. It's hard to digest them rapid fire the way you're capable of. You're a very impressive guy, though. I encourage everybody to get to know Russ. He has the potential to make a lot of people a lot of money if we can commercialize some of what he's developed. And Russ, I'm just because of timing, I'm going to have to move on if you don't mind.
Mark, no problem.
But thank you very much for pitching.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Okay, so up next is Frederick.
Hey, Mark, and hello, people. Let's talk about a problem that hasn't been impacted significantly in the 21st century, and that's injuries to athletes. To give you a flavor, the 2 biggest injury areas are ACL tears and concussion. And the fact is that an ACL tear or a concussion can be life-changing, particularly to a kid. The problem is that despite all the talk, nothing's really changed. And parents are still not feeling in control over what happens to their kid when they get on the field. The numbers are staggering. In America, 1 in 8 kid athletes suffer injuries requiring medical attention. That's 3.5 million kids. In the adult side, it's 3 million adults, which is 1 in 12. Now, suppose we told you that your unique genetic makeup actually has an impact on your risk of injury and severity of injury. And that's our business model, is to do a DNA analysis and then provide parents of kids and adult athletes focused, personalized advice and action steps that are based on their DNA and experience of people in athletics to reduce the risk. No one's done this before. It's a whole new way of thinking. And the main motivation is change the game, because the worst thing that can happen to an athlete is being injured, because then you're out of the game, as opposed to just losing, because then you get to play the game another time. We are raising money for our early stage activity. Our two-year negative cash burn is $2 million. We are a B2C play. We can go B2B to C. We have extensive background data on the business plan, business model. I have a team of more than 10 people who are all experienced in all fields of business and technology. Happy to talk to you further. The company is goldenthreadtech.com. It's in the chat, and happy to answer questions. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Frederick. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, then you'll meet Frederick in the chat. And by the way, he makes a good point, which is any of you presenters, make sure you put your information in the chat so people will know how to reach you. Exactly the way we need to work. Up next.
Frederick, what's your website?
Oh, goldenthreadtech.com.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks for asking the question. Any others real quick? We are going to move on. Thanks, Frederick. Okay, up next is Dr. Justin.
Hi, Mark. Hi to the group. If you've heard me pitch before, perk up new ears. It's going to be a different pitch tonight, different company. Let's talk about medical services online, telemedicine and telehealth, and business to consumer e-marketplaces. So thanks to the previous speakers for spiking up this topic, particularly to David at Dapper. Has anyone here been delayed in finding medical care for themselves or their loved ones? Has anyone been frustrated by the healthcare system for care delivery, hospital intake, being shunted through PCP referrals, emergency room intakes? Of course we have, all of us. Growth in the telemedicine and telehealth market is being driven by a growing geriatric and medically underserved population impetus, particularly in the rural areas, a shortage of physicians and care personnel, advancements in home sensors and testing linked telecommunications that allow delivering remote and virtual medical services, and an increasing adoption of this technology in the wake of COVID-19. The US telehealth and telemedicine market is growing at an estimated compound annual growth rate of 35% this decade. This market in the US is past 20 billion and is expected to reach 300 billion this decade. About half of this market is developing toward business to consumer e-marketplaces such as ZocDoc, Teladoc, MD Save, while another half is in the business to business space with very big corporations selling technology and services into the healthcare industry such as GE Healthcare, Philips, and Siemens. There are currently about 40 companies in the US competing into the telemedicine B2C e-marketplace, currently generating an aggregate of 9 billion annually in revenues. To keep in mind, this business to consumer e-marketplace business model is very successful. Of course, think Amazon for goods. But in the e-marketplaces for services, you've got Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity for travel, Airbnb for rental, Zillow for real estate sales, Uber for taxi service, and of course you can think of others. Our new startup, medicalservicesonline.com, will be another telemedicine B2C e-marketplace in the United States market. Why will we succeed? Because we have an unfair advantage. We own the US patent covering this B2C e-marketplace for telemedicine. Pause.
Okay,
Emphatic pause.
Yep. Is there more, or was that your climax?
Well, so we're immediately entering to offer partnerships to some of these competitors. We're seeking 500K in pre-seed to get our site launched and accelerate our business development activities, seeking a co-founder, CEO, co-founder, CFO, VP of licensing, and some technical co-founders. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I am a fan of Justin. And does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Dr. Lancaster, it's Alan Gilbert. You know, with COVID and everything, there's so many telemedicine companies, plus all the standard companies that service healthcare for the last 20 years, all now say they're telemedicine companies. So I would welcome to go offline and understand what your differentiator is, because it's now an extremely crowded market. It was a crowded market 5 years ago, and that you know, with Teladocs and all those ones, and then it's become extremely crowded. So I'd love to learn more offline.
All right, thanks, Alan.
Yeah, Alan's a good connection there for sure. Anybody else have a quick question? Okay, I think we're going to move on. Thank you, Justin. That was great. Up next is a ball of fire for today. Terrence, you have a lot of energy. We appreciate all your enthusiasm.
Sorry about that. I hope I'm not out of place, but you know, a lot of what I heard here is about blockchain. You know, crypto blockchain gets, you know, bad word. I love blockchain. Blockchain is going to change the world. Part of what health is about you know, letting those waiters, those construction workers, those people who walk every day and work every day accumulate healthcare tokens they can use at their doctor to save on their healthcare costs. So I have developed a Web3 platform, not only based upon Hyperledger, which is obviously, you know, the #1 backed platform in the world, and you know, obviously over Ethereum, blockchain, etc. But I've developed a platform where people can share with their doctor their daily health goals, how many steps you walked, etc., etc. Whatever you know, whatever geriatric, whatever concern may be. Excuse me, it's late at night. In any event, you get rewarded these tokens. You can use the tokens in the marketplace online, where purchase a Peloton at a discount, or you can use them at a doctor's visit at a discount. So we reward people for staying healthy by staying healthy. In any event, old health. I hope I did okay.
You did fine. Where are you calling in from? Terrence?
I'm in Connecticut. Yeah, Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay, East Coast. Got it. All right. Does anybody have any questions? You can meet him in the chat. We'll move on. Next up is, I'm going to mispronounce your name. I apologize. Udit? How did I do?
Yes, it's Udit.
Udit. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mark, for this invitation. It's been second time that I have been pitching on venture starters community. I'll start with saying that there has been tremendous importance of family in my personal life, and I have seen that in everyone's life there's tremendous importance of family, and that's where when I say Adore is interest dating app, but it's not just a dating app, it's a purpose-driven venture which connects singles based on their personality instead of looks. So Adore is creating a shift in dating landscape from looks and flings to personality-based matchmaking and everlasting relationships. We have received phenomenal support from 60+ leaders who have followed their passions and interests, like say Miss Asia India world record holders in classical dancing, sports icons, Mr. Icon India, TV celebs, and that has made us get this particular swipe ratio, which is the key matrix, which is thrice better than industry standards. So swipe ratio is ratio of like to dislike, and our ratio is thrice better than industry standards, which suggests that young singles are having quality engagement and expression on our dating app compared to conventional dating apps. On top of it, we have 2 copyrights, 1 brand trademark. We have received some initial checks, and on top of it, we have launched a full-fledged product with global quality tech stack. And we are looking to, partner with purpose-driven investors so that the next generation of youth starts saying, I adore you instead of I love you. Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone.
I like the name Adore. I think I mentioned that to you before. I thought that was a good one. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Just out of curiosity, what is the distinguishing factor of this particular personality algorithm versus eHarmony?
I'm sorry, we're still having trouble hearing you, and I would love to hear you. It's your microphone seems too far away, maybe from.
Can you hear me now?
That's much better.
Yes.
Try again.
Yes.
So my question is this: what is the particular unique quality of your algorithm versus something like eHarmony, or what is the distinguishing feature?
So there are that's a very perfect question. So there are 2 major pillars to it. The first is the pillar of expression. The second is the pillar of exploration. So on Adore, individuals can create a holistic profile of multiple interest categories by uploading their photograph, writing description, mentioning proficiency level. They can't do it on any other dating app. The way they can express on Adore, they can't do it on any other dating app. Once they build their holistic profile, our proprietary algorithm will suggest them similar profiles based on common or complementary interests. So that's the first filter. So interest-based matchmaking or personality-based matchmaking happens on holistic expression. That's the first part. The second part is holistic exploration. Say if someone says that I am having interest into fitness and music, and they have seen all profiles into fitness and music, a proprietary algorithm will do that for them. But they want to see profiles in other categories, say meditation, yogasana, dancing. Then they can just hop onto exclusive junction, and they will see all this particular junctions, and they can just hop onto any junction and they'll find profiles in their particular category of interest.
I understand. Okay, the second question is, do you have any empirical evidence that this particular algorithm has a positive correlation with
so that has to do with the swipe ratio, as I mentioned during the pitch. Swipe ratio is the ratio of like to dislike, like to passes. On conventional dating apps, the ratio of like to passes is 1:5. So on every 1 like, there are 5 passes. On Adore, the ratio of like to pass is 1:1.75. And this has improved in spite of consistent growth rate and swipe ratio. Swipes. So our swipes have grown 300% this month compared to the same month last year. But the ratio has improved. So it has been 1:1.75. So on every 1 like, there are less than 2 passes. So that's what makes us say that interest or personality based matchmaking, which is more holistic matchmaking, is the next landscape of dating instead of, just swiping based on superficial looks and seeing photographs.
Okay, those were both good questions. Does anybody else have a quick question? Then we're going to move on because we still have a bunch of people that want to pitch us today, which is fantastic. Up next is Thomas.
So blockchain seems to be a reoccurring theme tonight for good reason, but I'm not sure if anyone is or has been picking up the breadcrumbs, but a completely new blockchain-based global financial system is being ushered in right in front of our faces. And to clarify, this is blockchain on an ultra macro level. What the powers that be, so to speak, really don't want us to hear. And over the past year, digital bounty hunters, Dow LLC, and with the help of some highly professional and trusted advisors, have conducted some arguably groundbreaking research, gaining invaluable insights into this shifting global order. And perhaps most importantly, DBH has developed a strategy as a result of this all, specifically an ISO 20022 digital asset based strategy. And I please encourage you, anyone taking notes, write that down, ISO 20022. And so for anyone interested in a research and strategy, please feel free to reach out. It truly might be the most valuable move that you make. Thank you.
Okay, very interesting. Does anybody have any quick questions?
Yeah, so what's the actual business? I didn't catch that. This is Duran, by the way.
Do you have a business, Thomas? That's what Duran is. Yes. Well, so I'm co-founder of Digital Bounty Hunters, Dow LLC. We were primarily focused on Discord. We have a monetized Discord page where we pretty much put all of our research into there. And we're looking to develop, I guess, if you want to, I guess you can call it an experimental digital assets portfolio.
Knowledge market, whereby you're taking the information and the testing and the research and development from your mind, and you're monetizing that by way of teaching people how to understand the different facets of the blockchain?
Yes, and also the particular networks in which are facilitating this shift. I guess CBDC would be a great way to describe it. We take a really unique take, and our research documents available on our website, which is digitalbountyhunters.org, just so you can kind of see the level at which we have, of care and concern.
The reason I was asking, and I'll make this quick because I know Mark wants to move on, is because as an investor, I'm listening for what's the company, are they raising around, what capital are they raising, what's the product itself. So I understand academically, but the idea is for you to sell to a person that don't have to think about it academically, which is why I was able to summarize it. So yeah, I understand. It sounds interesting. I'm always interested in the advent of technology because I'm a software engineer. So reach out and let's talk back and forth. But kind of tailor your pitch. It's always easier. Hey guys, we have a Discord. We have some knowledge that we believe is proprietary, and we are going to sell it for a small portion. Now let me tell you about it. So then it lets us know immediately. We're not trying to app or anything like that.
Yes,
that was actually, yeah, That was good advice,
That
actually.
was brilliant advice. Appreciate it. I
Yeah,
really do.
so, but because of timing, we're gonna have to move on. Thank you, Thomas. Everybody can meet you. I have questions about blockchain in the chat. We're gonna go to Nicholas next.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. So far, so good.
Okay, yeah. I'm
We don't
Nicholas
see
from
you, we
Nigeria.
just hear you. Are you gonna put on your video or just talk?
Oh, yeah, I will just talk. This is night here.
Okay,
This is
go
basically
ahead.
to 12. Okay, yeah, I'm Nicholas from Nigeria, and I'm the CEO and founder of Agro. Agro is a tech support for all the transportation industry in Nigeria. And now look at the problem we are solving. Because of the time, let's go straight to the problem we are solving. The problem we want to solve is high cost of transportation, unemployment, and low marketing in the industry. And why we are solving these challenges is that the poor masses, the average masses are the ones facing the challenges. Taking for example, for Uber charges their drivers 20% or 21% of every ride they book. That makes transportation to be high, but we want to create a platform that is going to offer the same services, offer marketing to transport industry, and instead of charging commission that will make transport to be high, we reduce it and make it to be a subscription base. The subscription base goes a long way to help the standard of living within Africa and Nigeria to be precise. Another solution we want to solve is the connection between qualified auto mechanics, qualified automobiles to customers. In Nigeria here, we lack a lot of tech support, and any of the tech support lacks a good marketing skills. So at the end of the day, those brands, those talented individuals don't get enough publicity that they want. But we want to offer these services to the qualified auto mechanics so that on our platform, customers can connect with them and they will render their services. In reference to India, there is a brand also offering these services in few states in India, and they're actually doing well. I got to discover them when I was doing my research. So this is the idea we have, and I have a core team. My core team is from India. The development team, they work on contracts, and I have my manager as well, which based in South Africa. I based in Nigeria. So we are still in idea stage. So we are looking for startup capital to develop this idea and start operation from Nigeria. Then we'll spread to every other African country. I just want to make it short so that every other person can talk before we close.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yep, thank you. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I've had a number of interns from Nigeria, and my question is, one, what is your place where you're going to be located? And two, if it is in India, that is one thing. If it is in Nigeria, my question is, how are you going to deal with the Wi-Fi issue with the whole 3G situation?
Okay, currently the company itself is incorporated in Nigeria. I own the company, so it's going to be based in Nigeria. The company is an African brand. We are not planning to exceed outside Africa. Well, our focus is in Africa, but we are starting from Nigeria. And regarding the network issue, currently in Nigeria we have 4G, which is quite okay in most areas. So definitely there won't be network issue in the operation.
Okay, good. And thank you, Leslie, for the question. I'm going to have to move on just because I'm going to try and squeeze everybody in today. Next up is Abdul. Well, you're on mute still. You're going to please.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect. We can hear you.
Okay, my name is Abdul. I am the founder and the CEO of Track Pager. I am calling from Kansas City, home of the Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
So yeah, go Chiefs. So we have developed on-demand freight matching app So we will be matching truck drivers and freight shippers. So what's the problem we're solving? Right now, freight shippers and brokers are having difficulty finding truck drivers, especially owner operators. On the other side, drivers themselves, they're also having a difficulty finding a freight. Or otherwise, if they find a freight, they're getting charged percentage by freight dispatchers. So for the brokers, the app that we have developed will be an on-demand, just like Uber ride. So once a broker is looking or a freight shipper is looking for a truck driver, they will just boast the load that they have, and then it will send a notification to all nearest truck drivers. And then it's gonna go out like an Amber Alert where that goes out when we have a baby missing. So the driver will receive the notification. If they like the load, they can accept it. If they don't like the load, for example, they want to ask for more money, they can bid the load, and then the broker or the shipper will receive an offer and send a counter offer to the driver. So how are we solving the problem? So the broker or the freight shipper will be able to reach thousands of drivers in one click. We are also making the owner operators, truck drivers, independent. Right now, truck drivers pay between $800 to $1,200 per week to find freight. In our app, they will be paying a subscription base of $30 a month. And we will be able to help them connect to major freight shippers like Walmart and Sam's Club or Target. So the other problem we're solving for freight shippers is like they're also having difficulty tracking their truck drivers. For example, they might assign a load to a driver that's nowhere close to the pickup location. So once the driver accepts the load, they can see the driver location. It tracks live. They'll be able to, right now they're spending a lot of time tracking the drivers, making phone calls. With our app, they don't have to make any phone calls. They don't have to make a phone call to ask a driver to send the paperwork. Everything's done through the app. How do we make money? We make money through subscription. How much are we raising? We're raising $1 million right now. What are we using the money for? We will be spending to do some marketing for the business. Do we have any paid or any customers right now? We have about 1,000 drivers signed up on our app so far that downloaded our app and interested. And we have a few shippers right now.
But are the 1,000 that are signed up, are they paying yet a subscription price, or is it free at this moment for them?
Some have already, they have signed up and provided their, payment methods. But since we haven't fully started operation, we are holding on to that to start collecting payments from them.
Okay, got it.
So basically, to make this easier for people on the Zoom with us that don't understand this will be an on-demand like Uber ride for only tracking. And just for your information, there is no such company that's doing what we're doing right now. Everything in the tracking industry is done through the old traditional ways of making phone calls. So we are cutting the phone calls and the time spent on the negotiations.
It sounds interesting. Does anybody have any questions and quick questions at that?
Is this a freight business?
Yes, we will be connecting drivers, truck drivers, and freight shippers. Yes, so it's for transportation.
Okay, so now currently Uber pays about 99% of their revenues to carriers, and the industry standard with the leader is C.H. Robinson. Pay out, come on, sweetheart. They pay 83%. What's you guys' go-to-market strategy with Uber being so aggressive buying market share, paying out 90%?
So the two companies you've mentioned right now, both Uber and C.H. Robinson, will be our potential customers themselves. So we're not competing with Uber or C.H. Robinson. We're bringing all the freight brokers and shippers to our platform so they can find drivers. Uber themselves and C.H. Robinson themselves, they struggle to find drivers. So we are reaching out to themselves to use our platform so we can help them find drivers.
Two other things. I don't know if you've thought about unions and associations.
Oh, interesting.
For your marketing and whatnot. You can contact me, but unions and associations are two kinds of things that pop into my mind.
Yes, thank you. We've done that, and we have been receiving some responses that we were not expecting it.
We're going to have to move on, but this does sound like a really good idea, especially if nothing like this exists in your industry, which is surprising, and good for you to identify that. So thank you, Abdul. Next up.
I'm gonna post articles and the links about our company. Thank you for your time, though.
Perfect. In the chat, that would be great. Next up is Milland.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thanks for giving me time to present. We are creating a sodium-ion battery here in India and in US. So for that, I have connected with the Indian government labs. That is one lab near Chennai called SECRI, and I'm talking to NREL, a US government lab. Even they are interested in creating a sodium-ion battery. Our battery will be created with non-rare earth materials. Especially, we are excluding nickel and cobalt to avoid any kind of supply chain issues. And our battery's capacity will be around 200 watt-hours per kg, which is like commercial grade. And the cycle rate will be around 1500 cycle rates. So at 10C rate. Okay, so this is very close to commercial grade battery, and especially it can be used in grid sector because they need very low cost battery to store a lot of energy, and it can be used in electric vehicles as well. So it's a kind of alternative to lithium battery. I know the lithium batteries can go at a higher capacity, but still it's a kind of an alternative. And for lithium batteries, we are trying to come up with a silicon anode with large particles, because if the silicon has a large particle, it can store more ions of lithium, and that's why it will increase the capacity of the battery. But the problem here will be, if the more if the lithium ion is bigger compared to 150 microns, then it tends to break. So we are trying to resolve that problem by encasing that particle in certain polymers and doing some more kind of optimization on it. So it will enhance the capacity of lithium ion batteries close to 400 or 450 kind of watt hour per kg. So that's very high level, and it can be used in any place also. I mean, even in aeronautics also. So this is what we are doing, and the Indian lab has assembly lines to create a cylindrical batteries. So in case if you have certain orders, do let us know. We can manufacture the batteries here, although the amount will be like the volume will be less, but we can really manufacture it here. So any questions? And we are raising money for that. I need around the amount now is lower, because we want to do a lot of test on this battery, and that requires some bit of research and some bit of testing also. So amount will be around say 150K, and next stage when we are creating a plant, then that will require a huge amount of around say 35K to raise a battery of say a slightly less than 1 gigawatt capacity. So this is what I'm trying to do here. All suggestions are welcome, all questions are welcome. Please let me know.
All right, really interesting. I actually have an interest in batteries. Does anybody have any quick questions?
Okay, I just have two quick questions. Regarding potentials for disposal and rechargeability. Perhaps you touched upon them, and if you could just elaborate upon that.
Maybe you guys
it's like
can meet in the, maybe you can meet in the chat to discuss those. I'm actually realizing I'm down to 16 minutes and I've got 8 people left. So if you don't mind, meet in the chat, and I'm going to move on to Craig. But thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're up next, Craig. And you're on mute still. So
sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Craig Nabbitt. I'm the entrepreneur, inventor, and founder of Freedom Laser in Los Angeles. We use a low-level procedure to help people get off nicotine addiction in one 30-minute session. I could only treat so many people in my clinic, so I invented a home use device, wearable device to stimulate the endorphins, helping the smoker through the initial withdrawal process. This is the nicotine-free method to quit smoking versus all the other FDA-cleared methods that use drugs or nicotine patch. You're using nicotine to quit nicotine, which doesn't make sense. So I've already conducted a pilot study, and we showed in the pilot study, 30-day pilot study, we reduced smoking by half. And I'm currently in the pre-submission process with the FDA. So I have a patent in the United States, I have a patent in China, a lot of experience in this space. My last product I brought to the mass market was a wearable device called iRestore, and it's a company that grew to about $24 million a year in sales. I'm no longer the president of the company. I split off my partners to make this my life pursuit. So I'm going to sell this originally as a prescription device, and then we're going to sell it direct to consumer through our company-owned site once it's over the counter. Currently raising $1.4 million for the venture.
all right, neat. I may have an investor for you. So my assistant, you'll reach out. Perfect. Okay, but we're gonna have to move on. Sorry about that, because that one sounds really intriguing to me. Next up is Keontae. I hope I pronounced your name right. And I don't see your video or audio yet. I see. There you go. All right.
Hey,
Success Airlines. There we go.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kayente, Captain Young Money. I'm from New York City, and I worked in marketing for a long time. I was known as the sneaker man. I traveled America promoting sneakers for Foot Locker. But these days, I'm an influencer on an app called Clubhouse, and I've developed my own app called Success Airlines. It's an app that teaches kids careers and life skills, things like what is a loan, what is a bank account, even lessons like what is water? Or say, for instance, you want your kid to be a lawyer. We have lessons that teach kids about lawyers. But the thing is that our app launched 6 weeks ago, is doing really well, but this is just 10% of what we plan to offer on the app. Just to give you a little information, we had a seed round where I used Clubhouse to raise $55,000, which I developed the app. And now I'm in Series A, where my valuation, the first investor, paid $50,000 per 1% for investing in my app. During this time, we've used this funds to develop Success Airlines, which is the same app in Spanish, and Success Air Francais, which is the same app in French. And we're developing Success, well, I haven't figured it out, but it's going to be in Arabic. I'm truly appreciative for this opportunity to talk in this space. I just want to remind everyone that they have the potential for greatness. Don't allow yourself to be discouraged by anybody. Thank you so much.
Nice presentation. Very cool. Yeah, thumbs up on that one. You'll have to meet people in the chat. I apologize that we don't have time for Q&A.
No problem. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Up next is Pyruch.
Hi, Mark. Hello, everyone. Thank you again, Mark. This is my third time on the on presenting with your portal. So thank you, Mark. I really appreciate everything that you do for entrepreneurs and investors. So my company is K Medical. K Medical is focused on bed sore prevention. We have an exciting technology that is that will help relieve and prevent bed sores. And we have patented several ideas, and most recently the greatest of all is patent pending in Europe and the US. And we so as you may know, 60,000 people die of bed sores every year just in the US alone. And think about the rest of the world. You can see it with the kind of numbers, staggering numbers that you would anticipate in throughout the world. 2.5 million people suffer from bed sores here in the States. And we have this, we have this technology that will help create a mattress that you can change the pressure points even with a 300-pound person laying on it. You require minimal force, like 1 pound, to change the pressure manually on the back of the patient without having to turn him around, which you have to do. So hospitals have a protocol that patients have to be turned around every 2 hours. And with this novel mattress, you don't have to do that. And so we are in the MVP stage. We're building the MVP, and we are proud recipients of SBIR. And we have been awarded phase 2 SBIR, which is a big deal. So for those who may be familiar with SBIR, so we are proud recipients of that. And we want to put this on a fast track. And we are seeking 3 million in seed funding. So anyone who is interested, please connect with me. I'll put my information in the chat. And also anyone who wants to help us with outreach and also connect with GPOs and or investors, please feel free to reach me.
Excellent. I love this project, by the way. And so Alan Gilbert, you should take a look at this. And Scott Livingston, you should take a look at this. I see Scott joined us here late. I'm really happy to see that. But we don't have time for questions and answers. And we get to move on to a friend of mine from 25 years ago. I'm completely surprised to see here today, which is fantastic. David Goldsmith. David, you're up.
Oh my God. I'm so happy to see you.
Well, we
It's
have to meet
very,
in other ways than on my big event here, but it's great to see you. It's been a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah.
Yes, and very, very happy to be able to make this connection with you because, as you know, I've been an entrepreneur and investing in early stage technology companies myself for years. Mark is one of the best people I've ever known, and that's saying a lot because we've known each other for 30 years. He's a good man. And I'm happy to be here and see how I can help. What I do now is I invest in entrepreneurs, early stage tech companies. I help them go to market. I do strategic partnerships that can create revenue without giving up equity, generate revenue, create market share, capital raise advisory. And I also have now debt financing for entrepreneurs and early stage technology companies who have no business history and no collateral required, and no dilution of equity. So I found this after looking for it for about a year, and I found the best company to do that. They're called Entrepreneur Capital. I have a business relationship with them. And so I will put my LinkedIn connection in the chat. You can, anybody who has, a company that needs 100 to 150,000 to start up with no dilution and no business history, I can help facilitate that. And the cost of money is less than 10%. So it's a good program. I've done it with many people that are in your stage of development. And I love helping entrepreneurs. If I could be an entrepreneur, I would be. So I love to help entrepreneurs do what they do best, which I admire as well. So I'll put my LinkedIn connection in the chat. And the only reason I'm in bed is I had the vaccine about a year ago and I had an adverse reaction. So I've been in bed for the last year.
Sorry to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's good to have you here, though, and I hope you'll keep coming back, David.
I will, absolutely. So I'll put the LinkedIn in the chat. My LinkedIn.
Very good. By the way, if anybody has projects that are entertainment-based, David also has a lot of connections. He and I met each other at Paramount Studios, I think, at one point when I was doing a lot of work with Star Trek and Paramount way back.
Yes, and John Taffer.
And John Taffer, right. We have war stories. Anyways, good to see you, David. We're going to move on. Up next is Diana.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diana. I'm from Unit. Our startup is a learn platform we developed, which is especially interactive. So students or kids can do a lot on our platform. We have also a teaching platform where the students and teachers can draw on together. Everything is on the same point. We have a chat room. We have a bookmark section. So we having this very interactive platform. I myself come from the educational sector. I have 20 years experience of teaching. I also have a bachelor and master's degree in performance psychology. So I'm looking at how the students receive what the teacher gives and how the teacher can actually use their skills over the internet, because we found that a lot of the other platforms are lacking some of the things. And when the teachers were forced to teach over the internet, they didn't find the tools to keep actually the students engaged and interactive. So our platform helps them, and we're looking to add also a lot of new features to it to keep the teaching very interactive. We're looking to raise about 500K with this round. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hear from anybody that'd like to connect with me. I put my details in the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you for pitching. We appreciate it. Up next is Michael.
So I am back after a bit of a break. Wait a minute.
There you go. We were having trouble hearing you. Now we can hear you. Good.
Yep. All right. I'm back after a break. I am pitching a new idea. Been doing some research on game development incubators and accelerators, and currently right now there is a gap in the market in the US for doing an incubator accelerator type program. Most of the programs that are out there in the US give very small amounts of money and aren't focused on a problem that definitely exists. There are basically 250 games released every week on Steam, and only about 50 of them actually get any traction. But there are some games in there that have potential, but lack the resources and connections to do so. So I have about 17 years in the game industry, and I'm in early stages of just looking to see if the possibility of a US-based, US-focused incubator and accelerator could be possible.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Please reach out to Michael.
Yeah.
We're going to have to move on just because I'm trying to get us all in. Daryl, you're up next, and you're going to have to make it very short. And you're on mute. That will help us. Daryl, you're still on mute.
Still muted.
Still muted. We're not hearing you. We would like to hear you, but we might have to hear you next week.
Okay, hi, I'm Daryl
There
Carter.
you go. You figured it out. There you
Listen,
go.
I'm going to identify you guys as Techno Rangers because everybody's using technology to communicate. I own Techno Rangers Smart Domains, Techno Rangers Smart Bank. I am the vehicle after Facebook to identify with the new audience in the world. We'll call them Techno Rangers. I own Techno Rangers Smart Domains, and I'm gonna create a smart app. It's good the metaverse came because with the metaverse, it could be the app where the person walks into the room. But anyway, I'm kind of excited. With Techno Rangers Smart Bank, we'll be able to sell real estate worldwide with people. We'll be able to make it real easy to finance. We'll be able to, with the smart domain, socially engineer the next generation from the tech age to the space age. We'll make sure that kids, through a gaming app built into my Techno Ranger Smart Domain, teaches these kids every part of their body and everything that Success Airlines was talking about would be incorporated into the Techno Ranger Smart Design. But anyway, I'm looking for startup funding. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for the guy like Keontae from Success to come in and help and guide this 68-year-old man who's passionate about being the next Facebook. I want to give those faces in Facebook smart technology. I want to create the technolution. I want to create a technocracy. I want to create a technopoly with the smart bank and undo what the industrialists have done to us in the financial realm of our lives. You know, we have post-traumatic stress going on from what happened in the past. Techno Rangers isn't even looking into the past with its solution, with the technolution, what we're going to do with the future. We're going to go to the future. This is a raceless, countryless. This is a sexless. This is a movement that's grassroots, and I need for everybody that's watching me to help me with any expertise to get the first dollar of funding for Techno Rangers and to find out more about why we are all Techno Rangers and what we can do to build the smartest domain in the world for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And just so we can try and finish up here, please, nobody else sign up to pitch. We have 2 more. We're going to try and do them really quick. Gail, you're up next.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. And Daryl, I love the energy. Amazing. Yeah. So this is Gael, founder of Maoni. Maoni is a digital bank to make friends and family banking faster, cheaper, and safer for every single person. The story of this company is the story of a beautiful lady that I have personally met, probably the most hardworking person I know on earth. Single mom of 2, full-time nurse, and still managing a cake business on the side. At one point, she wanted to get a loan so she can go full-time into her business. That was the beginning of her whole hassles. Every single bank, credit union, lender, online and offline, all said no to this beautiful woman. All of them said no except one. One bank that can give you a loan when you need it the most, as opposed to when you have the most money. The only bank on earth that can give you a loan, regardless of your credit score. That bank is a friends and family bank. That's how this woman was able to go full-time in business, run her business successfully, creating jobs in her community today. And just like this woman, there are 100 million people in the US today that cannot get a loan in the banking system because of their credit score. And they all go to that same place, friends and family, to go about life. But again, we all know it's not the safest place. You give loan to friends and families, they don't pay you back. That's why we are building Maoni. What is Maoni? It's a digital bank. What does it do? It allows people to do exactly what they're already doing in the friends and family banking system, which is give loans to one another, which is save together with one another, which is even give credit lines to one another. How is it different? We are safe. We make it safe ultimately through a collateral system where you can use any digital asset you have as collateral, crypto, bonds, stocks, you name it. Then what are we building? A digital bank. What does it do? It allows people to give loans to one another, allows people to save together, and allows people to even give credit lines to one another. How is it different? It is safer. Currently, we are raising 1 million on a safe note. Valuation cap to be discussed. And anyone interested, I'll be happy to discuss this further with you. We have a team of, cumulatively, we have 40+ years of experience in banking and consulting as a team. And we are just so passionate about this, allowing anyone to access credit regardless of credit score. Thank you. I'll put the more contact information in chat. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then we're going to finish up here with Coach Chuck. Hello, Coach.
Hello, everybody. Mark, I'd like to thank you for pushing the schedule out to where I could actually say something. My name is Coach Chuck. I'm the CEO, the founder, and the inventor of Lean 7 Fitness Draft Day Technology. And our fitness machine changes the whole dynamics of recruiting in the future. The beautiful thing is we've just finished the whole project of the prototype this past Sunday. And so what we do is we have a fitness machine that measures athletes' analytics, and it all feeds to an app. When it feeds to that app, and any of the high schools athletes equals a college athlete score or surpasses a college athlete score, it automatically notifies that college coach from anywhere in the world. Now, long story short, in 2021, during the pandemic, America made over $71 billion in sports. I'm here to tell you that each one of those teams had to recruit a player. Now we do use videos and stats, but it's not our go-to. Our go-to is numbers, and data don't lie. So whenever any high school athlete equals a college athlete score or surpasses a college athlete score, it notifies that coach automatically from anywhere in the world. So if I got any questions, anybody got any questions for the guy that's going last, you can go ahead and shoot. I love to answer questions. Mark, I'd like to thank you again. Hey, and David Goldsmith, I like your last name. I'm gonna be connecting with you. I sent you an invite on LinkedIn already. Questions?
Okay, you can meet, and Coach Chuck, come back to future events where we have more time. I want to thank everybody that stayed till the very end. You guys are my heroes that you are still here, and you make this event like really amazing for not just me, but the people who are pitching. You know, thank you again. Next week, I think we're going to start at 3 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. based on some feedback from the polls. And we will let you know as we adjust ourselves in the future. November 5th is the life science focused event, but we're here every Wednesday. I just again want to thank you all. You're amazing. Our community is growing every day. We're getting better and stronger, and I'm hearing great results from within the community of people that they're meeting up with. So this is just a testament to all of you, really, that you're reaching out to each other.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is Ron. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, Coach Chuck, I am absolutely impressed with what you just said with your app, dude. Absolutely. My son played football into college as a receiver, and he quit last year, but these kids in these smaller towns and communities, they don't get the opportunities that they do around Atlanta,
That's
Georgia.
why I built the machine. That's why I built it.
Absolutely. That's an absolute gold mine right there, guarantee you.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
day.
sir. That's why I built the machine. And it takes all the little fish in the little pond, and it puts a sea with all the big sharks, and see how long they can last. So
hey, listen, my son's 6'3", and he runs like a 4.6 40. He's strong as a bull.
Hey, Ron, let me tell you this while I got time.
Good.
And Mark won't let us get off the phone here.
I'm gonna wrap it up. I am so sorry. Like Ron,
that's all right, man.
You're a perfect match for Coach John. You guys should definitely get on a call or whatever you need to do next.
I'm Chuck Amos on LinkedIn.
I'd like everybody to please come back next Wednesday. Help us keep growing this. Thank you to those that participated today. Blake, I always am impressed with you and your questions. Duran, your questions are brilliant today. We've really had some great questions from the audience. Our people are pitching, keep improving. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the experience of being a startup. It's a marvelous ride. We're just part of that ride. I hope you will take time to enjoy what you're doing besides the stress of trying to raise money and get your venture off the ground. We're all fans of what you're all doing. Have a great week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Next week.